Welcome to the FallenGiantz podcast. We are back again, and it is an important one because the Premier League is back tonight. Burnley versus Manchester City to kick it off. And today we have to get our 2023-2024 predictions in. How you doing, Nick?
I mean, we left it late as usual, like we always do. Literally put kickoffs in about 3 hours.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's just that's our style now. Any viewers out there that they're ready for it.
Yeah. I was just thinking back to last season. It was an absolute shambles, the prediction. So we've got to try and do a little bit better than last season. I think we have Brentford relegated.
Yeah, I don't even know how we allowed that. I don't know honestly, what was going through.
It's crazy. I blame Ollie. I blame Ollie for this influence. Honestly, I don't know what. The only thing he got right was Villa. I'll give him credit for.
But he got credit for that, but he said under Gerrard. So
yeah.
No, but there was some shocking takes from us, unfortunately.
Yeah,
we will do that style again. We're going to share a screen and you'll see how we're predicting it. But we will make a case on our own opinions, but then have to decide together for effectively a FallenGiantz Premier League table.
I think there'll be similarities, but I think there's going to be just a few positions we might have to alter. I think that's how it'll go. But yeah, I'm ready for this.
Let's go into it. So I'll share the screen so we can see. We're just going to use.
Well, I'm not really ready, mate. I don't want this season to happen, but
how are we going? Do you want to go from the top or the bottom? How do you want to do it first?
Let's go from top to bottom. Yeah.
Top. Okay. Yeah.
Make it more interesting because at least we're going to be talking about the bigger sides at the start of the video. So, all right, the pivotal one, first place.
First place. Yep.
I think you know what I'm going to say. I'm going to stick with what I said last season, but bring it into this season. Rice, Havertz, Timber, retain Partey. Pretty much only lost Xhaka of any notable player. I think it's going to be hard for me. I think maybe to sway you here, but I personally think Arsenal are going to win this league. They're going to do it finally do it under Arteta.
Yeah, I mean something for me, but yeah, we know I'm not going to say I'm going to be saying City, but the thing, regardless of how we do this and how our predictions go, I don't know if it was quite. We did sort of skirt around it, but we were sort of reviewing how transfers have been done and how the teams are set up for the start of the Prem. But one thing's for sure, whether I've seen some other podcasts, whether you use should, must, or whatever words you want to use. There is huge pressure on Arsenal to win this league, really, and that you just mentioned it because we have made huge additions to do that. Like there's no really excuse for going back the other way. So,
do you know what? A really important one to look at of your most recent deal is someone like David Raya coming in because you're even the small intricacies of the squad that you not necessarily needed improving at the start. You didn't think of that at the start of the summer. You're trying to plug all the holes in your team. You're trying to make it as refined as possible, your team. So almost there is no room for error in all competitions, not even just the Premier League, to be honest.
You're right. It's like, I would have easily said, we don't need to touch the goalkeeper situation because we've got other areas to think of first. But the fact we're even doing that, and I don't always love to throw, the amount of money, but now it's a huge number. So
Declan Rice is such a what's the word? Like it's a statement. It's a statement signing. Yeah, you get one of the best midfielders in the world, and it's just that should be the cherry on top. You should be now consistently fighting for leagues and winning some of them as well and stuff because there is nowhere. We've said this off camera. There's nowhere to hide for Arteta now. He's been given time. He's been given money. He's been everything he wants. He's pretty much cleared out the whole squad and made it his. And it's deep. I was watching the Community Shield with you the other day. I said, like, your bench is strong, it's stacked. You can go and you can go far in all competitions. Really, it's only going to be the only reason you will fail this season is down to potential selection mistakes, tactical in-game mistakes like that. I think. He couldn't. You'll never have the perfect squad in football. You're never going to get your perfect squad. Like, you probably haven't got all your number one targets that he would have wanted, but that's not how football works, isn't it? As well, you've pretty much got everything you need to fire on all cylinders. this season.
But yeah, but regardless of them being his exact dream like 11, he has had pretty much the ability to make a change in every position. That's one thing. Regardless of, obviously it comes down to contracts and interest. Then he has actually had the ability to go through a whole squad and change it. So, I mean, I don't know how we're gonna necessarily decide who. I mean, from my point of view, I'm sticking with City. Obviously, the big thing this season is, can they go from winning the treble to I know they're paid footballers, but like the motivation to just continue go again. There is, I suppose, more records there that will obviously probably Pep would put in their minds, and they seem to want to break every record. But yeah, I mean,
yes. Well, I guess we're
trying like a machine, isn't it? It's a machine at the moment. It's whether
I think obviously there's still three or so more weeks to go in the window. So obviously City can make. We already know they're talking about Paqueta, maybe added in. They could add in an Elise type player to replace Morris. So we're kind of the current City I'm looking at. I think it could be a transitional. I never want to associate that with Pep and City because their transition seasons lead to. I mean, last season was meant to be a transition season and they ended up winning the town treble. But I just think Arsenal have just been, if I'm comparing the two, they've just been building to this moment. City have reached that moment, I think, as well. Obviously, they've reached a pinnacle of football. I'm not going to be an idiot and rule out, City can't win it. It's just my gut feeling and just seeing the progression. And as you said, the heights they reached, it will be tough, man. It will be tough to go again. It's really, they could end up winning. You never know. They could win the Champions League and an FA Cup, maybe not win the league. That's the thing. I just think because they can still got more than good enough players to go far in all cups. But I think throughout a league, I think Arsenal really going to go for this league more than anything. City will obviously be there. They managed to. The good thing about City, they managed to retain Bernardo and Walker, which was important in the end. Because if they lost them two on top of Gundogan and Morris, I genuinely would have said it. Arsenal would have been flat out favourites for me. Obviously, I know but these are for me. These are indispensable players. These aren't ones you can just replace that easily because these are players that have been there for 4 or 5 years that have integrated into the team. They're special players, isn't it? They're special players. These are generational ones. So the likes of Kovacic and that, I really rate these players, but it's not quite Gundogan. And Elise might not be Mahrez because he just doesn't have the experience that these players do. So that's why I'm just thinking logically. I mean, they broke the record for Guardiola for a defender, an all-time record. I think it'll be great, and I think City will be solid. I think they'll have This is why they will go to the very end with you lot, because I think City will be very, very strong defensively. I think they're gonna. I think they'll have the best defense in the league this season, quite easily. I think actually, when I look at the standard of their keepers and defenders, and even their midfielders. So they'll go with you all the way to the end. So it'll be, this will be our top two, I assume, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you want to how we decide that. I mean, I'm happy to go with.
I mean, I guess if it works in your favour, if you want to add a bit of bias to it because you're an Arsenal fan, I'm going with a gut feeling. I think we should. As a channel, if we come back to it and Arsenal do win the league, it looks good. City's the boring one as well, isn't it? City's the one that everyone will go for.
It's true. We'll go with Arsenal. You've made a strong enough case, and I do agree that there is pressure. I'm probably going to be like last year, the way I sort of said that we're not going to do it. But, regardless, I'll be very happy if it does come true. So we'll stick with Arsenal first and City second then?
Yeah. That's our top two.
One thing I will add before we go on to third, and I mean that might start to make clear who I'm saying is third.
Yeah.
This morning, if Liverpool were signing Caicedo, I was thinking.
Have you seen the top? Have you seen on the screen? It says on the screen there. It literally says the Caicedo thing.
Oh yeah, so there.
Yeah.
So obviously £111. It says there agreed fee. But it's looking now as if Caicedo is saying that he's only going to Chelsea, whether that does formalise it officially. But I think
it's going to happen. What I've been seeing all over Twitter. I think people know that he's going to join Chelsea. They're just trying to just put that last bid in and then they'll accept it straight away. I think after that.
I mean, the interesting thing though, I'm saying like, oh, if they lose out on Caicedo, it changes things. But there obviously is a large amount of money there to spend, so it'll be interesting to see who they change their sort of views to if Caicedo goes to Chelsea.
It's true. Liverpool fans have been saying this. I mean, I guess we can talk. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if we're going to agree. I think I might be putting Liverpool third anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was going with. I just mean that I probably would have even been making. I don't know if I necessarily would have turned around and said that they're going to be pushing ahead of Arsenal, ahead of City, for example. But I think they would. I think it would have been a 3-horse race. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with midfield.
I'm quite sure if they'd got Caicedo because he's a game changer, I really think they could have really pushed City and Arsenal. I think I really would have struggled. You know, if I knew Caicedo, you know, literally last night we assumed he was going to join Liverpool. That would have altered my predictions just overnight before we done this. Because he's absolute. I mean, I just look at how good their attack is.
Well, they've got so many goals. They've got so many.
He would
goals.
be such a good. He'd be the linchpin between the attack and defense. It'd be so good for them to have that. He's a game changer for whoever he signs for. It doesn't matter who it is as well. So, I mean, there was a point. I mean, Arsenal were looking to sign him in January. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
that was
okay. So we'll go with Liverpool then.
Yeah, go with Liverpool. What we say?
Obviously, just to remind everyone, it's a top 5 for the Champions League this year.
Yeah. Are we saying Liverpool because so what I said about City defensively, I think Liverpool will have the score the most goals this season.
Yeah,
I think they'll be the highest scorers in the league.
I agree with that. There's goals in every position. They've got multiple players as well. We was talking about this, was it last video or just off camera? And we were saying they've arguably got the best sort of attack force in the
attacking depth 100%. And you've got to deep it. Set pieces, they're going to be lethal. Trent and Szoboszlai, all over set pieces. They're going to score direct free kick. Corners, they've always been good from corners. Van Dijk, Konate, they are. I'm telling you, they're going to score a shit ton of goals. I really like. They're going to come from all different avenues. They're going to be a mad one to watch. There could be some games where it's a bit messy as well on that, but that's going to be crazy to watch.
I just think one thing as well that I think you agree with is out of any team, obviously Arsenal last year, so you'd probably, we're saying Arsenal will win league, so they're going to have to do this, but they're a team like City who can win 10 on the bounce or 12 on the bounce.
100.
And that is key to, you know.
Remember, they started to do it towards the end of last season for that late top 4 push, and they just missed out. You're right. They have got they are mentality monsters sometimes when they need to be. And to be honest, Chaz, just lastly on Liverpool, what you said, I think the Caicedo one was a bit of like an exception. Like, okay, we're going to pay this much for this player. Like, it doesn't mean they're going to spend 100 million maybe now on midfielders. But the only difference is I don't think they can get someone on Caicedo's level that can move them up to title challenges now. Because even if they get a Lavia who they originally wanted, I think he's just a bit too young to be that game changer for them at the moment. And I think they have to get midfielders, surely, defensive midfielders. They need 2, really, not even 1. If they don't, they would even drop, really. And we're just assuming they will, because they drop out the top 4 or 5 for me if they didn't get a defensive midfielder. You can't go into a season without any defensive midfielders.
Well, I wasn't sure if there was a little bit of like, obviously they would have bought him, and there has to be stuff in place to make bids like that and agree terms. But do you think there was a little bit because Chelsea then suddenly bid for Lavia that probably annoyed them?
It was a weird timeline because they bid for Lavia, obviously who was Liverpool's target, and then Liverpool responded by bidding for Caicedo.
I don't know.
British record transfer, and then. It's just mad. Caicedo was meant to. It's one of the biggest. It's the biggest saga of the summer. Caicedo was meant to be going having medical today at Liverpool. Now he's changed his mind last minute. It's a proper soap opera, isn't it? It's mental. Like it's insane. Honestly, it's insane. But I'm comfy with Liverpool third. I am. We'll get into it in a sec. Actually, we're going to go fourth. I'm going to go with my club. I'll go with United. I think.
I agree with that.
I'm
happy to put them in as we discuss it.
I don't think it's too controversial, that one. we're not quite done yet in the window. We know the free signings that we've done. We've gone through that. I'm shocked actually at Liverpool might not. If they, hopefully they don't, because I'm assuming. I think Ten Hag's already spoke to Amrabat about waiting to join us. Basically, he's just waiting now. Fred's leaving, Donny's leaving. He's just waiting.
Yeah, it's like you clearly had to make some sales, right?
Yeah, but I'm shocked though, Chaz, that Liverpool wouldn't try and try for Amrabat and try and swoop in as well. But I don't know whether clubs know there's maybe some sort of gentleman's agreement between already or something, because there's not many clubs going in for him apart from us and Juve potentially. Yeah. So yeah, if I'm gonna speak on United, we know the free signings. Second season for Ten Hag now. Now we will get to start to see the style of play all the way back from, obviously the keeper's going to be the biggest game changer this season. And you're set, what we saying, 2 more signings for United, it looks like it will be. And it will be Amrabat probably. I'm quite now confident, which I think is a game changer in itself. If Amrabat signs, for me, he's the most, it's between him and Onana is the most important signings this season. Because I think you look at big games, you look at Casemiro's, his suspensions last season, having someone like that. I don't want to look at him as a in reserve type player, because I think he's good. I think he could even, personally for me, I think he could displace Casemiro, or at least allow him to rest and stuff like that, because I really rate this guy. I really, really do. I think it's crazy how cheap he could be going for, 25 million, to be honest. Yeah, so if we get him over the line, and then you've seen the recent news, Maguire's off to West Ham, it looks like. And then it's out of what? Hazard or Todibo, who we're going to add in as the replacement.
Yeah, it looks like you'll have a centre-half definitely at some point as well. Yeah, from out of them. Well,
I
the
told
list
you
apparently there's a list.
I'd probably rather Todibo, but it's in the balance really now. But yeah, how can I say these 5 signings by the end of the window? That's a very, very good window, considering the ownership situation and things like that. I can't really sit here and complain. That's why I want to put United higher, but the league is so strong. That's the thing at the minute, and I just feel like it will take a really, really good season from us to just take that next step, that leap of faith to the next. I've seen, as you said, people have been saying, "Oh, mate, why can't United title challenge?" But I think the reason we can't is because all these new players, it's their first season, transitioning in. By next season, by next summer, I'll be putting us in different conversations, to be honest. I'll be putting us in the top 3, like we're looking at here, or the top 2.
I think you just need to have a really good, it'll be a really good season where you see a lot of good performances and the Ten Hag way sort of thing. You see that coming through the team. I think the only reason I have you behind it, because I agree, there's no real reason to say outright you can't push that. But I just think currently for me, and I know you've got, obviously this young striker that you spent a fair bit of money on, and
still he might
Rashford still. Yeah. I think for me, the 3 above you have more goals in them.
They do. And Chaz, just lastly, you hit the nail on the head there. We're going to struggle for goals, and we still are going to struggle for goals unless Sancho and Anthony get their hands out their arse, basically, as well. Because if it's not Rashford or Bruno, we don't have goals. Martial's never there. Højlund, okay, we're putting all our eggs in Højlund's basket now as well, but we're going to struggle, I think, for goals, and we just don't have enough goal-scoring attackers across the front 3.
Yeah, I remember last season where we spoke about could Arsenal challenge, and the thing that we were comparing all of us against, like Liverpool and City, is literally all of the players, or a big majority, have to be hit. Saka, Martinelli, they all have to hit sort of 15.
Bro, look at your players: Ødegaard, Saka, Martinelli, they all went 10 plus. All of them got 10 plus in the league. You need to be. We haven't got that. It's that we signed Anthony for 90 million euros. It's down to him now to start improving and putting goals away. Sancho needs to, because they've not proven it to us yet, and I'm not confident of. We missed too many chances last season, even in pre-season. That's been our Achilles heel. We've been missing so many chances. So, it's not. We're not ready for the title challenge yet. But no, I think it'll be. We need to go for another cup again, innit? That's the aim. We should go for a top 4 in another cup, or because contextually we finished 3rd last season, but this season could be better, even if we finish 4th in a weird way, because the style of play and stuff like that as well. So. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I think that's a solid top 4. I think so far.
Yeah. That is solid.
This
Where are we
one's
going fifth then? This could be a little bit more.
I think this is tricky. I think this is where we
Yeah,
might
I don't
have
know how far we've discussed. We haven't really gone through these already, so I don't actually know Nick's opinions. So it'll be interesting.
Well, we were just talking about how Caicedo is a game changer, yeah, for any team in the league. That elevates Chelsea to 5th for me. That does, honestly. Yeah. That does. It's Pochettino. I still rate as a coach. I don't think not everyone's given up on him. Yeah, come on, man. Caicedo and Enzo, and then I'm still liking the look of some of their new signings. It just makes sense, doesn't it, that they'll be there? I think that they've just got the strongest squad out of the rest of the teams.
Yeah, I agree. I'm putting them 5th. For me, they're always, in our opinion, we've always said that they're going to be coming back. They will get back to greatness because they've made so many signings, especially young talent. But the thing that, as well, that will stand out for me is, I know it came off because of a really poor season last season, but they'll have no Europe to focus on, so they will just be focusing on the Premier League.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, I'm just thinking of their squad now. It's young, hence why they're probably not going to push into the upper ends past 5th place. But they've got that, they've got a lot of energy. No European football, Poch. I think they'll be good. I think it'll be a good season. They could even go for cups as well.
I actually think they're going to make a really good start. So I think they're really going to be looking at starting from, we could be looking at them much higher in
probably 1st or 2nd for a little bit.
Yeah, I really do, because I looked at some of the fixtures as well. I just think and that does tend to sometimes happen with youngsters as well, where you sort of fizzle out towards the end of the year. So but I do think 5th place we'll put them in.
Do you think it's a bit of a sad one that Nkunku's out for 4 months already?
Yeah, that, because I really do like Nkunku as well.
That's a killer for them. That's a real killer. That because we were talking about goals, they might lack goals this season at the minute as well, because there's a lot of unproven talent up there with Mudryk and Jackson and Madueke.
Yeah, it looked as well as that they'd sort of found something in putting him in the 10 behind Jackson in pre-season. I don't know if it's as straightforward with him out now. It might be back to more of just a 4-3-3. I'm not sure, but
just a random question, and the potential of it. Do you think Nkunku, Caicedo, and Enzo is the best midfield in the league potentially? As in, it's got the potential to be anyway as well.
As a free on paper, that is and even quite young players, there's an element where you could say Enzo Fernandez he's one of the highest value in terms of, but you could say he's the best upcoming midfielder in the world. Caicedo is definitely probably the best number 6 out there, one of them.
We've got to put pressure on Chelsea soon though, because you deep it, that midfielder just said that's nearly 300 million. There's 200 million pound midfielders in that midfield. We'll give them this season to finish in the Champions League in 5th place.
Yeah, that's it.
They've got to elevate quickly, They've got to go quick because they've got a young team. There's no real excuse. It's not as if they have to move. They've moved on all of their deadwood and older players as well and stuff. So pressure will be on Poch soon because it's Chelsea at the end of the day. So there will be a lot of pressure. And this is, we said, I think this might be a make or break for Poch. This is it for me. As in, he's the biggest job he'll have for a long time, I think.
Yeah, it seems like they need just a season where they, achieve to a degree where they get back into the Champions League spots, or just a little bit more normal, not all over the place. And then assuming they'll continue to spend, that there will be huge pressure on going forward from that. As the sort of next steps. 6th place then.
I think this is, the first one, apart from Arsenal City, I think this is the first one we may disagree on.
Yeah. Because, I'll be surprised if you say the team I'm thinking.
Shit, this is tough, the Premier League's a hard league, It's a really tough league.
I can tell you my team if you want. So for 6th, who realistically we're looking at what? Spurs, Newcastle, Villa,
and Brighton.
I'm gonna go Aston Villa.
Okay. That's where Ollie. Is that where Ollie put them last season?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was 6th. Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I don't know how hard I can fight this case. I'm gonna go Spurs.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go Spurs.
So I suppose we need to start with the other trilogy of this transfer where you can see that in the top right corner.
Mate, it's crazy. How crazy has the last 24 hours been? It's been absolutely, you won't get a more crazy day this window.
Kane, Spurs to Bayern imminent.
It's done. It's done. Yeah, he's going to be a Bayern player. They're trying to actually register him for tomorrow's game here for Bayern.
Oh, really?
The Super Cup, yeah, against Leipzig. Okay, how do we approach this? Do you want to talk Villa and Spurs? We'll discuss, and then we'll move into the other teams that are going to kind of take up to 8th place, really.
So, from my point of view, Aston Villa, for me, I've weirdly, for some reason, been watching quite a lot of their preseason, and I know you can't just base it off preseason, but I do rate what Emery's doing, and I think that they have, unlike other, I mean, you can argue with Spurs and that, but they've just almost kept their team and then made additions, which is what I like. And I feel like they're very set up for the season.
Think about the additions they've added. Pau Torres, what's it called? Tielemans and Moussa Diaby.
I mean, they are Europe, whether you call it Europa.
The Champions League. The Champions League quality.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
I've seen Pau Torres get to semi-finals of the Champions League, being a pivotal part. Moussa Diaby, next up, big upcoming winger in the world.
Yeah.
Tielemans, we've always known about his quality. And we're forgetting about the likes of Diego Carlos, who's now back for them.
Didn't play
they've got depth in at the back. And I don't know, you've been watching them. Apparently, they've been kind of going a little bit similar to the City model. They've been playing all centre backs across the back line and things like that. I've seen Konsa play right back for them.
Yeah, at times, yeah.
And do you think they'll be solid? Because Louise, McGinn, they've got there's a solid. You're making me edge towards Villa here as well, because I'm looking at it. It's all in Emery's hands here. Watkins is arguably the most informed striker in the league towards the end of the season, and he's carried it on.
Yeah, so like the main reason for me going against Spurs, and the reason I'm looking at Villa is, and I mean, I don't want to say Spurs too low for me, but you're probably going to put a case where they can build off the new manager and stuff like that, and new ways of football, and be exciting. Yeah. I just think that Villa isn't chaotic. That's the word. Villa are set up for this season now.
Yeah,
because it could go well for Ange. Don't get me wrong, but I think it also could go badly.
And Villa got their signings in early, didn't they, as well? Yeah. The one thing I'll bring up, I don't know if you knew it even now, it's recent. I think Buendia's out for a long time now. He was really good, wasn't he, in pre-season? He was one of their stuff, and they're trying to get Zaniolo, aren't they? To replace him, I think, for the season. Which
I mean, even that in itself is another. These are players that teams above them of previous years were looking at. A lot, Jacob Ramsey hasn't played a lot.
Forget about my boy Jacob. Yeah. I forget what Jacob. Now, do you know what, Chaz? I might not argue this, because that's depth all over the shop. That is like, I think Buendia will be big miss. We've known about Zaniolo for a while. He was almost like a failed wonder kid. Went to Galatasaray in it last season, done well there, won the league, and now I guess Emery's taking a punt on him because of obviously you didn't see this Buendia thing happening. He's probably available on the market, and they're thinking, shit, we might as well replace him. And you never know; it could be a blessing in disguise. So, it's hard. We'll get into Spurs now. Then, I agree with you. A little bit more chaotic. They've lost their greatest ever player, literally today. Interesting to see where they go and how they replace him with you're assuming young names are on the list.
And how
the only thing I'll say, I've got such a limited, next to none knowledge on, and too much, I knew what he'd done at Celtic. I've now read into him more as he's joined Spurs because the stories are starting to come out, and I've been keeping a close eye on them in pre-season and his story. I'm trying to kind of put it all together, and they've been playing, even though they lost, I think, to Barca the other day. I looked at some of their football. They actually have played some some saucy football,
I have no doubt. That's where Spurs fans, for me, have to be a little bit cautious because in the stadium, the home goers, I think it'll be a very exciting season.
I think
there'll be some games where they win and lose 4-3, 3-2.
Similar to Liverpool. I can't wait for Spurs Liverpool this season. That will be an absolute blockbuster game.
It will be an exciting year. I just feel that there's as much hope for it to go really well for Ange, but there is also it could go the other way.
It's interesting. Yeah, yeah.
But as a club, I mean, coming off the years they've had with Mourinho's, like Conte's, that must be what they're dying out for.
Well, they're
really.
kind of going back to the Poch, Harry Redknapp era, where we saw them playing exciting, eccentric football. And like, I think someone that we should be looking at, keep an eye out, is definitely Basuma. He's had a really good preseason, and we all knew how good he was. He was the Caicedo before Caicedo.
I was jealous of that.
They got him for a snip, completely under the wrong manager. Like Conte was not his manager. Yep. This Ange looks like he could be the guy to really, bring back the Brighton Caicedo. Oh, sorry, the Brighton Basuma. So he'll be good. We're going to have, Kulusevski. We know the quality. Son can't really be any worse than last season. It's all about how they replace Kane. I think Richarlison will be good in his favoured position now. No, it's good, man. They're going to have a good midfield. Bentancur, Basuma. They've got Van der Veen in. You're right, though. I think I'm happy to put Villa 6th. I'm happy to put them 6th.
Okay.
I kind of a bit, yeah. Are we going to go Spurs 7th, or would you argue? Newcastle?
Yeah, I think I'm going to lean to it. I do. The only one is, it's just, we sort of said this before we agree with, like, I mean, maybe not. Maybe you're thinking Brighton, but I was thinking more Newcastle. We're not saying they're like having this awful season. It's just they achieve.
The Champions fucking league.
Yeah. But I just think there's a lot to do this season. Whereas from fans' point of view, they might have enough because they're playing Champions League football and winning. Having some good performance at home, and that is just enough. Finishing 7th or 8th, or 9th or whatever. I just think.
Are we? The only thing I'll post to you, so we're saying Villa have really taken that next step. You think they'll be just because Newcastle were significantly better than Villa last season, like in points tally where they finished. Are we just putting into context about which competitions they're in?
I think Villa have made better additions.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Newcastle.
I'm not going to necessarily question Howe or anything like that because why would I do that after what he's achieved and what he's still achieving? I don't know if they've done the best business for Champions League first season and all that sort of side of it. A lot of games to play, a lot of pressure now. I don't know. I did listen to an interview where he thinks there'll still be 1 or 2 additions, but yeah, I think they could have done a bit more in the market. And they've lost a few as well. St. Maxim's gone and stuff like that. So
yeah, the only thing that always draws me towards Newcastle and makes me second guess myself is because they have probably got the most electric home atmosphere and I just feel like we said about St. James's. It's so hard to see them losing at home the whole season. I agree with that. They literally swallow you up, don't they? Like it is just we saw it in a preseason game. They're still buzzing for that. And Newcastle, this isn't to reduce them to this level, but their vibes and energy get them through so many games. I feel like it's heavy metal stuff, isn't it? It's just all action football. And they're so physical. They're such a physical team. And they're going to be solid again, like they were last season. Who have they added? Livramento, Harvey Barnes, and Tonali.
Yeah. Not bad. I'm not saying it's awful. I just think I was expecting by now probably 5 or 6 additions, whether they're big names or not, for the Champions League squad in a way. Now, the other thing is they're also quite solid. So they were second best last season in terms of
defense. Yeah, they were. Yeah.
So
it might have been the best. Maybe
they might have pipped. Yeah,
I'm really struggling between Newcastle and Spurs here because I think Newcastle's home form's so good that they could.
I mean, what did I do there? Sorry. I personally would have put Newcastle, but I just know that you was fighting your case for Spurs in 6th.
The worst thing is, and it'll end up being 8th potentially. But the worst thing is, if Spurs finish 8th, that's where they finished last year. It's going to look like a shocking season. Like it's on paper, it's going to look bad. But how can you finish 8th and it might not be that bad? If you know what I'm saying,
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
No, I'm going to stick with Spurs. I'm going to go Spurs 7th to make it look a little bit better for and then I'll go with Newcastle 8th. I don't know. Are you okay with that? Like, you're not.
Yeah,
Too...
I'm okay with it. I mean, I think I would have had it flipped around just
Yeah.
because I weigh a little bit more. Probably the
Chaz, this
Kane,
Villa one
Kane
better
effect.
pull off. You know, this Villa one better come through, because I think they've thrown a spanner in the works here. That's what it is as well. Like, it looks a bit. All right.
So we need, we can fly through. Well, not fly through, but we can go a bit quicker on sort of the mid-table, I suppose. I mean, next on the list, I don't know if you're going to perhaps have someone else break in there, but it would be probably Brighton or Brentford, I suppose, from last year.
Yeah, I think we should go Brighton. I think we should. I think that might be a no-brainer. To be honest, they could even shock us and finish higher. To be good, they're that good. So, and we've said, I wonder how they're going to reinvest his Caicedo money as well. I'm really interested to see how this works, because they've already that's this young Salzburg kid they've already identified as a replacement. You know what Brighton are like.
They're just so quick to do it.
They've got it all in. They were probably like, this is probably why they were delaying it so long. They wanted to get their replacement ready. And let's be honest, this kid's probably going to go for 100 million next season, the way they work as well. So, who have they got? João Pedro's been there since the start now. Kudus is not happening yet. I don't know what's happening with that. It's kind of, it was agreed a few days ago, but it's kind of gone a bit quiet.
Yeah. But I mean, again, that might have gone quiet until they get these funds.
Yeah.
We don't know,
Because we want to see Kudus there. This is where we'll see exciting football under the Derby. Proper fluid attackers all over the pitch. Think about Kudus.
I think what is key there is, regardless of if we get it right with Villa or Newcastle, etc., probably even with Chelsea, probably all of them sort of 5 teams right there probably could switch. Like,
genuinely, it's good that you got that in there. Just because I still think Brighton will play the best football out of all of them 5. All of them 5, I believe. Because I'm looking at, as I said, Mitoma, João Pedro, Evan Ferguson. Think about how good he's going to be this season as well. Evan Ferguson's getting a full season under his belt, and he's only 18 or 19 still. Maybe Kudus, what's his name, and Ciso, who really started to hit fire towards the end of the season. And they're going to probably add more, like we said, the Hoods in, smart signings like Milner. I like they're solid at the back. They signed a young Dutch keeper to battle it out with Steele. I'm excited for Brighton this season. You know they're going to entertain. You know it for a fact.
Yeah,
there's a lot of entertainers this season. I think, for example, Brighton will play better football, but I think you're right. Villa might just fundamentally be a bit more solid in their approach and a bit more. More
I think that's what it is. Just, I can just see them picking up a bit more points along the way.
All right, I'm happy with that. That's a solid.
So, I mean, we don't have to. I'm not saying we have to rush it, but like from 10th to sort of 14th is the real sort of mid-table, isn't it?
Show me the list of teams when you go to click on 10.
Yeah, so you got the likes, probably Brentford.
I wouldn't say.
I don't know. You cut last one, Palace, Fulham, West Ham.
Oh God! Wow, there's some shocking teams towards the end, actually. Yeah. Go up again. Oh, okay. If we're going to be logical, it should be Brentford. I think it should be Brentford.
Yeah, from what they've. Yeah.
Because what is that? Hasn't it 2 seasons on the bounce? They've been top half of the league as well. So
yeah.
But no Ivan Toney. That's a big one for half the season at least.
Yeah.
But do you still think Brentford are so well set up tactically? Like, they're so solid. They're like the modern day. For me, like, then I don't want to come as a disrespect, but they're like the modern day Stoke or like a Sam Allardyce style team where they're going to make it hard when you go to their ground. They're solid.
Yeah.
I've said solid so many times, but it's true. They are. They signed, what was it, Nathan Collins slots in from them.
I think the real ones for this position for me, I'd be looking at West Ham, Brentford.
I'm not saying Palace. I can't.
It's probably out of them 2 for me. It probably is. Yeah. I think I'd just edge Brentford more because West Ham, for me, goals is always a slight problem, and obviously they're making a few additions now, which will probably be good for them. But just losing Rice, I just think possibly Brentford are set up when we talk about the other teams. We spoke about Villa and stuff like that. Yeah, I think Brentford might just go again a little bit. Just,
Brentford, yeah. Who have they signed, Chaz? So Nathan Collins. They added a keeper. They replaced Raya, obviously. They did. Who else did they sign, Chaz? I think we missed out. Oh no, they signed some Korean centre back as well. I think.
So they haven't made any signings up front, then, no. Even with Tony out. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Let me quickly check.
I just think they could get. I just think when the season starts, well, like this weekend, I just think they could get going again. I'm not saying they're going to win the first game, but
no, they got Spurs, don't they, in the first game?
I just think they're sort of a team that's very set up, organised, like you said. It'd just be like, let's go again, and there's no major. Well, we're struggling to say major changes. It's not like they've lost, apart from Tony, who's going to be a miss in terms of goals.
Yeah,
they haven't had a Declan Rice ripped out of them, sort of thing.
Yeah, they've made the 3 signings. Flecken is the keeper in goal, who signed, and then they've made Kevin Shard a permanent deal, who they had on loan. Who he'll have to have a big season in Tony's absence, and then Nathan Collins as well. And it's just adding to the solidity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I just saw a blast from the past, Brentford, old FM player that we used to see as well.
Oh, really?
Do you remember Joel Valencia?
Yeah.
For some reason, I think he's a Brentford player, but he's been on loan for years.
I think we might have to go Brentford because we gave them such slander last season.
Yeah, we've got to make up for that. Yeah. You watch them get relegated now this season now, as after all that shit. All right, cool.
Was it out of the 2 with you? Would you be saying West Ham next, or you had someone else?
I'm edging West Ham or this is the hardest bit for me. I've got like 3 teams, I think. I'm stuck between West Ham, Fulham, Burnley, and Bournemouth. All of them. I'm gonna say
one team out of there that I don't think is going to be as high as this seat. I don't think Fulham are going to be as good.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I went into it, but. I just say about Fulham, man. They just they really impressed me. They really overexceeded.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, 100%. They did. Yeah.
Like I
had them to go down. I think.
I think we did. Oh no. Yeah, we did. We did have them to go down. Yeah. But Marco Silva's really changed my mind on it because they're an exciting team to watch as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see who they've added. They've re-signed Willian. Are they going to lose Mitrovic by the look of it? That could be a huge miss.
Yeah, well, he'll definitely, even if he ended up turning around and staying, I think he'll be out for a while.
Actually, I'm looking at it now. Raul Jimenez in there. Calvin Bassey, it's decent. Giant. Nah, I'll put them down. So I'm happy to go West Ham, for this one.
Yep.
West Ham, so obviously Maguire's coming in. I think, by the way, just put a little word because West Ham have been, ever since the Rice saga, they've been active in this market. I think Maguire will do well there. I think he'll be good, I think Maguire and Aguerd at the back is solid. I think that's a good partnership.
Yeah, agreed.
This is his level. This is perfect for him. I think they're talking about giving him the captaincy or something like that.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't surprise me if you see the old Maguire like
at Leicester. Yeah,
like almost looks like you want him again because how good he was originally.
He's a good defender. Like, it's just, we need to put it all in context, everything as well. And it's just, it hasn't worked out. He was the most expensive defender in the world, and he didn't live up to he shouldn't be the most expensive defender in the world. He's just not that level.
Yeah.
And he's good. He's got all the fundamentals. He's actually good on the ball. He's solid. He's good in the air. He's got all the good, everything you want in a centre-back, bar pace, you would say.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they suddenly can't play football. Like,
it's just
he just didn't hit the heights. He couldn't, maybe a bit of pressure he couldn't handle, and just
I just think that social media kind of corrupted our image of his image, and it became a bit over the top about how bad he actually was because of the magnifying glass he had on him.
Yeah.
And obviously Ward-Prowse, massive. I mean, anyone that signed Ward-Prowse. I said any Premier League, lower half team / middle team could have gone for him.
Yeah,
he's just valuable in himself because of the set pieces. It's such a huge weapon, and what David Moyes likes as well. Like it,
he brings some leadership as well. He brings leadership.
Yeah,
to the team.
Ward-Prowse to Maguire and whoever they, I don't know who they're signing up because they've let go of Skamaka now, haven't they?
Yeah. There will.
So
I think there'll be a signing up front that
they've had such a bad history with strikers, haven't they?
Yeah,
Recently, they need to get over that. Oh, sorry, Edson Alvarez from Ajax as well.
Oh yeah.
That's another that's a Champions League proven player as well. Nah, Chaz, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at West Ham Brentford now, you know. I would swap it.
All right,
I'd swap it. I'd go West Ham then Brentford.
Let's do it.
You seem to be happy with that. You seem like you would be on board with that.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. 12th place. Bring.
Okay, 12th place. This is where,
because I know there's that one stage. There's one team that's going to be mentioned that you're bigging up this year. I know for sure.
No, I'm going to stick by them. Yeah, I think it's going to be them. I think I'm going to go Bournemouth in 12th.
Yeah, so this is the team, just for the audience. And if you haven't already, please hit that like button. Send us some comments. Do you disagree with us right now? Shouting at the screen. So Bournemouth Nick has been praising, and he's very, very excited about the moves they are making.
This is my football hipster kicking in here, yeah? Andoni Arola, yeah? The manager. Andoni, maybe, you know, however you want to pronounce it. I'm not saying I watched the Rayo Vallecano team last season, but I've seen a lot of football tacticos on Twitter saying about how this guy was, you know, is a hot prospect in the management game. And Bournemouth, to be fair to them, what I rated, the first move they made was like, cool, Gary O'Neill done his job for us, but nah, we're making quick. What's that saying? You know, when you're trying to fix something before it's broken as well, and that you want to be ahead of the game. They want to be ahead. They want to be proactive, and I think they was proactive in this. And from what I've seen, like every team, most teams are going to play high intense pressing football. Yeah, that's the new way. But apparently, these lot are crazy. I'm looking at like a young Bielsa type manager. I'm thinking here,
right, okay.
And he's going to be crazy. There's going to be games I think they could get battered, to be honest. But all in all, I think, you know, at the Vitality, I think they'll be good. Another good home team. Let me have a look at that. I mean, they've just signed Alex Scott, who's a top, you know, he's a top talent.
Yeah.
Top. I'm really, you know, excited to see him in the Premier League. I'm so gassed because he's 19 years old, Chaz. But have you watched a bit of him?
Yeah. I followed a bit of him. Yeah, I mean,
he's giving me Grealish vibes, like as in like the way he picks up the ball on the like.
It's like a half turn, isn't it? All the time.
Yeah, on the half turn, he kind of takes the Graham by the scruff of the neck for so young as well, and it's probably good for him to get a full season of the Championship under his belt so young, because physically he's probably up to it as well now. I'm so gassed for them, and obviously not just him. I tell you one to look out for, Chaz. Milos Kerkez, yeah, Hungarian left back, only 19, like Alex Scott. They're both young. This guy has been bigged up throughout the year at AZ Alkmaar. I watched him a few times in the Europa League because I heard about him. He looks everything you want in a modern day fullback. He was linked with Benfica, Lazio, and Bournemouth. Just showed the power of the Premier League, how they can just swoop in and take these. He's a top talent as well at left back. They've signed. Who they signed? Justin Kluivert, which is an interesting one from Roma.
Yeah.
Max Aarons, you told me about the other day. They swooped in. You said that was a shrewd one.
Yeah, that is shrewd in my opinion. Yeah, because they stopped Leeds from getting him. They stole the deal.
Romain Favre from Lyon, who I've heard of before. For 15 minutes. So, and they've got Chaz. I'm just looking at it now, and from what they've added on from January. Do you remember I was impressed with their January window? From what they've added on from there. I can categorically say this, they will not be in relegation trouble. They're not going to be in relegation trouble this season. They've invested enough.
They're the statements we like, you know.
No, they are. They're not going anywhere near Michael B. Jordan hype. Yeah, so remember, he's not owner in them. I'm telling you right now.
No, you sold it to me, so you think it's hers 12th? Yeah, you want him in 12th,
man. Bournemouth. They're going to be my second team this season.
That's fine. They've got to have some. We've got to have some that we stick our neck out for.
As long as they don't do anything against my club, I'll happily let them see it. Oh, Chaz.
I'll be honest. I probably would put them a bit low, but
Chaz. Philip Billing. Goal scoring midfielder, mate. You're not understanding, are you? What's going on here? You don't know what's going on. Jesus, mate. Chaz, take him seriously, though. Yeah, I want you to take him seriously. All right, who are we on to?
13th.
13th is obviously going to be Burnley.
Burnley, yeah?
Yeah. You're really... I don't want this to... So I feel bad. I don't want this to make it my predictions now as well, but I think
I think Palace have got to be around here, though. Like,
wait, Chaz. We've gone safe for the top half. There's a few little wild cards in there that are realistic wild cards. These aren't massive calls.
Yeah.
I don't agree with
happy you. I actually agree, probably more than the Bournemouth one, but I do think Burnley are going to be okay. I'm just thinking I would have Palace around here. So whether they're 13th, 14th, however you want to do it, but
you know what, I passionately wouldn't. I don't think I'm putting Palace anywhere near there. You know,
do you think they're going to be bad?
I think they're going to be bad this season under Roy Hodgson. I think he done well as he came in, but I think it was a bad decision to keep him on for a whole nother season.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I guess we'll just talk about Palace then briefly then. Yeah. They've losing Wilfried Zaha, we know how big that is. He's maybe single-handedly, if you attach a player to their importance of a team, he might be one of the most important players in one side in the league.
Yeah.
And if they lose Elise, Chaz, if they lose Elise as well, I know they're going to replace, but we don't know how good they are, like how well the replacements would be. I have a feeling that they've got a manager, I rate to a certain degree. We know what he's about. He kind of does what it says on the tin. But it's a manager that, he's 70, 74, 75 years old. I don't think he's going to have the passion to even care enough. I think he'll be sacked at some point in the season, to be honest. I don't think he's going to have it in him to think long-term for them. It might just be a now factor. I know they've got a few good players like Eze. They've brought in Lerma, who I really rate highly. Lerma and Decore seems like a very strong midfield, to be fair. Are you not going to be worried about them goals-wise?
Yeah, no, I do get what you mean in that area. I do think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Elise and Eze. They do need to do a little. I don't know if they do. Pardon?
That's if Elise even stays as well.
Yeah. I don't know if there's just.
So they've brought in, Chaz, is Lerma and then this Matthias Franca, the young Brazilian 19-year-old, who's got very highly rated though. He is really, really highly rated. But I still don't think that's enough, mate. He's coming from the Brazilian league, Flamengo, to the Premier League. They've not done it. I don't think we should be putting Palace here, even in these next two spots, in my opinion.
Okay, so we're looking at Burnley, Fulham, Everton's.
Yeah, Fulham in that bracket, I think. Hold on. Just let me have a look at Burnley. So Burnley, obviously they're kicking it off tonight, aren't they?
Against City,
yeah. Why is it off evading my head? What's their stadium? Turf Moor. Turf Moor, yeah. The reason I'm going Burnley 13th, this is probably my wildest shout. I'm more confident in Bournemouth than I am Burnley. It's because of company. He sold me himself as well and stuff. And I just think that he's another Pep disciple. And they absolutely blitzed the Championship. It's not like beat around the bush here. They really, really killed the Championship, and like they were setting records left, right, and centre. And I'm seeing Burnley fans saying that was their favourite ever season as a fan. As Burnley Football Club, that's their favourite ever season. They said it was a dream season. Like it was just brilliant football all over the pit. Like just goals everywhere, possession-based game, everything you want in a modern team.
Yeah.
And they've added, obviously, your boy James Trafford. You've got high hopes for him in goal. Sanderberg is a shrewd one as well from Sheffield United.
Yeah, I thought that was quite shrewd, yeah.
This Zeki Abdouni, who they signed from Basel, highly rated. I know that. I haven't got much knowledge on him. But even the players, even Nathan Redmond, they got on a free transfer. And I know he killed it for Besiktas, didn't he, last season?
Yeah.
It's not even about too much about the personnel here with Burnley, but I do rate a few of their players. Like this Josh Cullen guy, look out for. He's meant to be really good in midfield for them. And there's I think at the centre back, I'm trying to think, but I can't think off the top of my head their squad. But it's more about the collective for me. Burnley, and I think Company. I don't know if you saw they were the first back to pre-season this season, and they started like early July. Oh no, early June. Sorry. So he's got them ready up until this point early, and I think that's going to be really pivotal. And I think they'll have a strong start. I'm not going to say they're going to beat City, but they're going to have a strong start to the season. I trust Vincent. I trust him, and I'm happy.
We're trusting Vincent then.
No, I'm happy he stayed there as well. He's given it a crack in the Premier League.
Yeah, well. No. I do agree. Probably more than that one.
Do you remember he was the Spurs job and stuff like that? Yeah. Yeah.
We'll do sort of 2 or 3. Then we'll decide on before we're getting into the the relegation zone. Who is just doing enough in 14th and 15th, and then we'll talk about everyone in the relegation zone or fighting for that survival. Who are you saying are safe? So if you disregarded Palace a little bit,
yeah,
who is next? Are we saying Fulham's, Everton? Who are you putting in? I suppose who is going to be in trouble? Who are we disregarding until we put them in the place? Who's off? I mean, for me, Luton is just not going to be strong enough, so we'll put them in a place at some point. Who's safe then? Fulham, you still think are just going to be safe? I'm assuming.
I'm debating between. It's all between Fulham, Forest, and Palace for the next spot. They could all alternate, I think.
Fulham, Forest, and Palace.
I'll go Palace next then.
Yeah, I would have probably stuck my neck out and said that.
Oh God, it's tough though actually because Fulham. Oh God, Fulham in 15th sounds mad, doesn't it? But
no, well, yeah, but that it was a very good. We've seen it happen before. Yeah, Sheffield United finished very high. And,
okay, I'm happy to go Palace then Fulham.
Yep.
And then
so this is getting close now to the 3. You've got Everton, Luton, Forest, Sheffield, and Wolves. I'm assuming you're going to say Forest.
No, actually, I changed my mind. I might go Everton, actually.
Okay, I'm happier with that. I would prefer Everton.
Yeah, because it's they haven't made loads and loads of times, but it's a full preseason under Sean Dyche, and you kind of know
for me, it's the manager that's going to get them a bit more solid at the base. And
we've already said about entertaining that they will not be entertaining at all. They're going to be shocking to watch. Yeah, it's going to be bad. I won't be watching any Everton game.
It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
We're nearly there. The 3. So who is surviving? Last day. Who's surviving?
Oh, I might be controversial here. Actually, I think. Because
I don't even know. By the way, I don't know Nick's relegation 3. We've not spoke about that, so I don't even know.
I'm going to be controversial here, and I think everyone's got. I think Wolves might stay up. I think they might just skate with the skin of their teeth, because I know they've got Gary O'Neill now as well on that, and Lopetegui's left for their season has started off at shambles, and they've not added. They've got financial issues, but I always did tell you though. They've got a decent squad there, so they can't drop off that high. They're dropping off significantly. They're going to be scraping relegation, but I don't see them getting relegated. But do you see a bit of a Leicester type thing here with Wolves?
It could be, yeah. I mean, I actually am inclined to agree. Yeah, the only thing that's a little bit, I'm just thinking of some of the Forest players. Morgan Gibbs White, a big player for them.
Give me a moment as well, and I want to see.
Have Wolves made any sign? I know not necessarily under O'Neill. What have they done? Anything business wise?
They haven't made a single sign. Oh no, they've made all they've had is Doherty back on a free at the minute.
Right, that is. I mean, that's worrying, I suppose, isn't it?
But then they've still got players that have, they've got Matthias Cunha, who they spent a lot. They spent 42 million pounds on Cunha from Atletico in January. They've got Gonzalo Guedes back. They've lost Ruben Neves and Moutinho. That's huge for them.
That's huge, yeah. I think sheer players.
They're going to have that big Austrian fucker up front as well.
Yeah, the huge one.
No, Wolves are staying up. Wolves will stay up, I think. They've lost the Dammer as well. They've lost the Dammer Traore.
I think I'm disagreeing. I think Forest might survive.
Wait, Adama's going to Fulham, you know. It's making me want to put Fulham actually above Palace and sort of shit, you know. I'm not being serious. I mean, deadly serious.
We can go back to that at the last second. We can change a couple, but
I believe in Adama, by the way. I do. I believe in him. I think he's the biggest threat in Premier League. I think he is. He is. Just the keyword threat. Yeah, threat.
Yeah. Pace and power. No, I think. Well, I don't know how he decided, but I think Forest would beat them to it.
Who have they signed? Alanga, yeah, they signed Alanga. Do you believe in Alanga now?
No, but it's not necessarily that. You know, they managed to survive in a season where it was all over the place, like the signings and stuff like that. Some of these players have been there, you know, a further year, and they've probably got an idea now of what they actually should play.
Well, they made Chris Wood permanent. They signed Matt Turner and Alanga, and then they got Ola Aina on a free as well. And then, you're looking at the players they already have. Lingard needs to get rid of. Things the likes of Lingard and Andre. Oh, no, they're gone. Lingard's gone.
Yeah, they didn't sign
He's a free agent. Yeah, so is Andre Ayew. Yeah.
They've got a few of them gone. They've got the likes of Brennan Johnson, Morgan Gibbs-White. I don't know. I just think there might be a little bit more state. And I don't even mind the manager too much. I think he's quite decent.
I'm happy to go with you on that because Steve Cooper, you're right. I think he's decent. I think he's a good manager. I think he's a good coach. I don't know where his limitations are, where he can go, how good he is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would, in my opinion, I would be looking at Forest with Wolves just going down, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm happy with that. I'm going to be. I'm tempted to put Sheffield United bottom out of them and Luton. You know, as honestly, I really think Sheffield United have had. I don't think you realize how bad.
No, I do. I do. Realize.
They are in trouble, Chaz. They're in serious trouble. They apparently, before they came out, I was watching the overlap. Sheffield United fan. They went to him and he said, "There's no expectation going into the season." They've basically gone up to go back down. They've gone up to go back down. They're not looking to stay in the Premier League. They're not looking to stay. They're not. They've lost. Do you know this Ndai guy? And I rhymed it there. This Ilman Ndai who went to Marseille.
Yeah.
Lost him. Do you know how good he was? Like Sheffield United fans saying he was their. That's a star player. That's their star.
Yeah.
They were saying he's one of the best players they've ever seen play for the football club, and they've lost him.
Yeah, no, they are in big trouble.
They just let Sander Berg go to Burnley.
So I know.
They've lost all their best players, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. And they don't really have standout goal scorers or anything, in my opinion.
Oh my god, they're screwed. Yeah. No, because they've got the two City lads, McAtee and Doyle. They're not getting back. They signed Vinny Souza, a Brazilian, Austin Trusty from Arsenal. They're fucked. They're screwed. They're absolutely screwed. I think Luton are finishing ahead of them.
Yeah, I can agree.
Because at least with Luton, what you're going to get is that grotty home atmosphere. Where are they? What's their stadium called again? Kenilworth Road.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah,
it's just going to be like there's going to be such a desire from Luton. I'm not saying we're necessarily saying they're achieving much because we put them in 19th, but it's like a miracle story, isn't it? Anyway, so.
Luton are one of them that you just want to keep an eye. I'm going to be watching a lot of Luton games this
season. Yeah, because they're just going to be fun to watch.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because they shouldn't be here, should they? That's what it is. They shouldn't be here. And you're just there. They're going to be there for vibes and that. And Chaz, your boy Ross Barkley, mate, plays for them. I don't know how that happened. I looked at Luton's team, Chaz. There's a lot of throwback players that they've got. That you're going to be wondering how they got to this stage of their career where they're at. But
yeah.
I was even looking at another one of your boys, Matt Macy.
I see. Yeah.
Didn't you say?
No, I didn't say anything.
I swear. You said he was the next big thing for Arsenal.
You told me Ross Barkley was the next Rooney.
He was.
He was.
Remember? Do you remember him and Big Rom up top? Yeah, as a partnership, mate. Delafeu on the wings, mate. Delafeu, mate. Honestly, I love.
One stage, everyone wanted him, didn't he? So, did you want to make some changes, or are you happy with where we're at? You said one.
Put Fulham above Palace. Put Fulham above Palace. Okay. The Adama effect.
Okay.
So I'm basically saying Adama Traore has that much of an impact by position. He pulls them up a whole position.
Yep. But I mean, yeah, in retrospect, it could be a couple points, I suppose, in them areas.
All
okay,
right.
so I'm gonna hit it. Are you happy with this?
Yeah, confirm that selection. Go on.
So it should. I'm hoping it was coming up. There we go.
Here we go. Here
Let me
we go.
zoom out.
Like Fabrizio, mate. Okay. Let's have a look.
I can't get it. Let me zoom out.
Here we go. Yeah,
there it is.
That is our FallenGiantz.
FallenGiantz table. Some interesting ones. I mean, starting at the top, a lot of people probably won't have Arsenal. You're going all out again, Nick. That's on you, yeah?
It's on me. It's on you. You're fans. All of the rest of the channel, basically Arsenal fans, for God's sake. This is... Oh, wow. No, I'm looking at it now. I'm proud of this. I'm happy with this table. I'm happy with this.
I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it.
I think the Burnley and Bournemouth are mad shouts. I think in that middle of the table, I think as well. It's gonna... People might be a bit shocked to see that.
Yeah.
We've gone for triple B, look. All for 11th, 12th, and 13th.
But the thing with that is it can be points like from like 11th or 12th to 15th, 16th, they can be quite tight on points. But I mean, yeah, I'm happy with that. I think all we needed to do is get rid of the, keep the sensible ones to discuss it and get rid of Ollie and Madison on the
mate,
predictions.
We came through solid here as well. Listen, like, we're the two staples of this channel. Yeah, as soon as Ollie and Madison come in, it's a shit show after that. Honestly, like, you don't know what's going to happen.
There it is. I will take a picture and we'll send it on our socials so we've got that sort of evidence and discuss it. Please go in the comments and give us your own, maybe your top 5 or who's getting relegated. Let us know. Please hit that like button. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.